Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard, I'm Penge, and welcome to day 19 of the Geek Cupboard's Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2022. So here we are back again with the wonderful tea advent calendar. Let's open it up and try to find gigantic tea door number 19. Where are you, gigantic tea door number 19? Can't see you over there. There we go. Right, so hang on a second. Let me do some creative folding. So it's down here, and gigantic tea door number 19 is telling us to be respectful. And I like that. That's something that we should all do. It's something we should all really do by, just sort of habit. That should come naturally. But imagine if everybody treated everybody else in the world with a lot of respect. It would be a lovely, much better place, wouldn't it? So I think, we can try and do that a little bit more, maybe. Maybe we can just, try and just be a bit more respectful to people. Maybe trying to understand their points of view and the way they think and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think we do that quite well in the Geek Cupboard. I think we do show quite a bit of respect to the imaginary people in the imaginary worlds in the games that we're playing. I think really the only time that we wouldn't be respectful in a game is if we were playing as a character that was a little bit mean. I'm looking at you, Crusader Kings 3. If we were playing as a character who was a bit vindictive or evil or whatever, and we were, playing as that person, then maybe we wouldn't be quite so respectful. But that's because we're playing in character. That's not something that we would do normally in the real world. So there we go. Let's show a lot of respect to people. Look, there's a lovely heart over it as well. So I like that. I like that. It's simple, but if everybody did it, it would be so effective, wouldn't it? If everyone just, was a little bit more respectful and people just did that more, it would make the world a better place. So there we go. Be respectful, everybody. It's a good thing. Double thumbs up. Right, so here we go. Let's prise this door open and have a look at what the tea is that's contained inside. Okay, it's in a lovely kind of sort of a pink wrapper type thing that I can't seem to get out of the door. Tea is like happiness. You don't find it, you make it. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I like that. Okay, so it's a herbal tea in a bag. Let's see what we've got. We've got something called Sleep Tight. A lemon balm based tisane. Again, people have told me how to pronounce that in the comments and I've forgotten already. So a lemon balm based herbal tea, shall we say, that is the perfect nighttime brew with a glorious aroma and a delicate sweet flavour. Okay, now this is quite relevant because as I'm recording this, it's getting on a bit in the day, I would say. I've kind of come back from sort of a holiday and I'm recording this quite late on in the day. So that might work out quite well. So ingredients are lemon balm, 91%, and then lavender and then rose petals. Okay, if this doesn't taste lemony, I'm going to be very, very surprised indeed. So, okay, there we go. So, a nice sort of relaxing pre-bedtime drink. I like that. That sounds quite nice. So, there we go. We know what tea we're getting, but we have to make it first. And to do that, we need to go to the kettle. And here we are with our lovely freshly brewed cup of Sleep Tight tea, and it looks like a herbal tea because of course it is a herbal tea. We know this to be the case because the tea bag wrapper thing told us so. But I mean, it does look a little bit, I suppose, like a green tea as well. It looks like quite a dark looking green tea. I'm trying to bring it sort of closer to the camera, but if I put the tea there, if I put sort of the mug there, it's underneath the shadow of the camera, so it makes it look like a black tea because it's in shadow. So I'll try and put it over there, but it does look a little bit like a sort of a very dark green tea. But there we go. So herbal tea. Now the big surprise is that given that we know that 91% of this is, what was it, lemon balm. 91% of this tea is lemon balm. It doesn't smell very lemony. It barely smells lemony at all. If I go and smell this, I mean, maybe there's a tiny hint of lemon in that, but mostly it's lavender. It just smells like a kind of a lavendery tea. But I mean, that's quite a surprise. That's quite a surprise because, 91%, that's quite a high number. So I was expecting maybe a little bit more of a lemony sort of a smell to it. I mean, what else was it? 91% lemon balm. And then it just says lavender and rose petals. So the other two don't even have a number of how much they are. But of course, even if it's 9% lavender, you would expect there to be a little bit of a lemony smell, given that most of it is lemon. But there we go, never mind. Maybe the lemoniness is all in the taste. So here we go. Let's have a taste of our Sleep Tight tea. Okay, again, I am surprised. Okay, no, actually, no, I was going to say it doesn't taste of lemon at all. I was going to go, there's no lemony taste at all. There actually is a little bit of a sort of a citrusy sort of aftertaste, I would say. So initially, when you drink that, I think it tastes of lavender. It's like a lavendery sort of a tea, which is okay. That's all right. Lavender's quite calming. It's a lovely sort of soothing cup of tea. But then, yes, there is a little bit of a sort of an aftertaste, if you like, and a lingering aftertaste, because I can still taste it now, of lemon, like a sort of a citrusy sort of slightly sort of sharp taste to it. That's quite nice, actually. Hang on, I'm going in for a second tasting. Yeah, that's okay. That's quite nice. But yeah, it is mostly lavendery. It's quite lavendery. And then, yeah, you get that little sort of, a little bit of lemony sort of aftertaste. It's not strong, though. It's not strong, given that, again, it's 91% lemon balm. And I don't really know what lemon balm is. I don't really know what that is. If it was, sort of lemon rind or something, then you might go, yes, lemon rind. But lemon balm is, I don't know, maybe it's like a refined form of lemon, which isn't quite so sort of sharp and lemony and sort of tangy, possibly. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, yeah, okay, I can see why it would be a sort of quite a soothing, sort of a soothing bedtimey sort of a drink. Because, yeah, it's got lavender and that's quite calming, isn't it? That's quite a sort of bedtimey thing. Like, normally you have sort of lavender and chamomile. They're normally together, aren't they? That can be quite a common combo. Yeah, that's okay. It's just quite a nice sort of soothing, calming cup of tea. Nothing too sort of strong. The flavours aren't too sort of overpowering. I wouldn't say it's too lavendery. And then you get that sort of gentle, sort of citrusy kind of aftertaste at the end, which again isn't too strong. It's barely there at all. It's just very faint aftertaste. Maybe just to, remind you that it's not all lavender in here. There's a little bit of lemoniness as well. But yeah, that's quite nice. Okay, so we have some lovely, calming, relaxing tea. Let's go over to today's question, which comes from one Foxtrot fan. And they said, my question is, when you were a little boy, what did you want for Christmas? And did you actually receive it? And they've gone into a little bit of what they wanted. So they've put, I wanted a pony, brackets, seriously. But that year, my father built me an 8-room, 2-story dollhouse with, they've put cedar shake roof. I don't quite know what a cedar shake roof is. Maybe they meant slate, possibly. I'm just trying to think of what you might type. So cedar shake might be slate roof. Wallpaper, crown moulding, and a cast iron stove. Needless to say, I forgot all about the pony. I mean, that's quite incredible. So you wanted a pony, but then your dad made you an 8-room, 2-story dollhouse with a proper roof of some description, wallpaper, crown moulding, and an actual cast iron stove. That's very good. Wow. I wouldn't know where to begin. I wouldn't know where to begin building such a thing at all. I mean, they've wallpapered it. They've wallpapered the doll's house. Okay, that's very impressive. I like that. That's very good. And I had to think about this. Because I was sitting there thinking, well, hang on, what did I really want? And unfortunately, both my parents have passed away, so I can't go and ask them. I can't go, was there anything that I was completely obsessed with as a child, like for Christmas? Was there something I really, really wanted desperately? So I kind of had to rack my brains, and I can remember 2 things. I mean, one possibly I was told about. I do sort of hazily remember it, but maybe I was told about it afterwards, and I kind of, people's recollections of that are then what I'm kind of sort of remembering by proxy, I suppose. And the other thing I do remember. So one thing was when I was quite young. Again, I'm going to age myself here. But I really desperately wanted, when I was a lot younger than I am now, a Castle Grayskull playset. So the actual Castle Grayskull castle. So you might not know what Castle Grayskull is. So He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That was a huge big thing in the 1980s. And I was obsessed with He-Man. I wanted all the He-Man things. And Castle Grayskull was the thing. That was the thing I wanted. So Castle Grayskull is the home of the goodies. It's the home of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and Orko and Man-at-Arms and all that lot. And yeah, I remember being I remember really wanting it. And then, I think it is sort of people telling me after the event that I was, sort of really excited by it. And that was what I wrote letters to Father Christmas for. And it was all very exciting. And then, of course, the big day came and the big man had delivered. Father Christmas had delivered Castle Grayskull. And it was a huge moment. It was very exciting because I had all the figures. I had all the figures, but yeah, I don't know what I was doing because it was a long time ago, and alas, I have nobody else to ask now. But I imagine I was just sort of either just imagining that they were in a castle, or I don't know, maybe I've made something out of cardboard boxes or whatever, I don't know. But that was kind of, yeah, the fact they had a place to go. And it was kind of like an opening place. So it was quite tall. I can't really do it from it. It was quite tall, but it sort of opened up. So it was like that, and then you could open it up. And inside you could have, like, there were different floors, and there was a gate you could lift up and stuff like that. So it was very exciting. It was very good. I remember, so probably, it must have been around that time, I got a thing called the Fright Zone. I'm fairly certain it's called the Fright Zone, which was another kind of playset type thing. It was a bit smaller than Castle Grayskull. So it kind of had a base, and it had a pit of some description, and there was like a prison cell and this kind of weird withered tree. And it was where the Horde would go. So that was not Skeletor, so He-Man's classic bad guy. It was where Hordak would go, which was sort of She-Ra's bad guy. But then I think they sort of crossed paths and He-Man fought Hordak as well. But whatever the case, I remember playing with that on my floor in my bedroom once, and there was somebody round, and it was fine. We were having fun, and I think we were pretending that it was flooding. So I went and got like a plastic jug type thing of water from the bathroom, and obviously I was pouring on, merrily unaware that anything terrible was happening. So I was there going, "Yay, water!" Just pouring onto this thing on my bedroom floor in my house, and then, you know, it sort of flooded. Oh no, there's a flood. And I went and did it again and poured some more water on it. My dad came stomping up the stairs and gave me a very good telling off, a spectacular telling off. My friend got sent home immediately because, of course, I was pouring water on this thing and it was soaking through the floor and into the electrics downstairs. It was running through the light, running down the light and dripping off the light downstairs in the dining room, which wasn't very good. I remember that quite clear, him being told off and my friend basically kind of going, I'm going to go. And he was like, "Yes, you're going to go home." And he went home. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so that was one thing that I really wanted. The Castle Grayskull playset was, and I did get that. Yeah, so I did receive that one. And then another thing that I remember really, really wanting, which was it must have been some years later. So I think I've moved on from He-Man at that point. But yeah, I was like really big into Lego. I still like Lego and I love Lego. But and I really liked the Lego Pirates because I had a whole range of things. And I had a little island, I had kind of an island, which was exciting. So it kind of had blue around the outside of the island, and an island sticking up. And I think it had I could bet you could bury some treasure. You could kind of cover it up with leaves and stuff. And there was like palm trees and a little kind of base on it. And then I had like a sort of a castle-y, like a sort of ocean sort of fortress type thing. That was where the good guys were. So the Lego Pirates had like red stripy sails, and the good guys, the sort of, you know, I suppose in a way it'd be sort of the British fleet or whatever, they had blue and white stripes sails. And I had a little kind of outpost of theirs, and I had like a tiny pirate sort of ship type thing, and a little, a slightly bigger good guy ship. But then, yeah, you want to play the pirates. You want to be the pirates in Lego Pirates. And so I wrote to Father Christmas and said, "Can I please have the gigantic big Lego pirate ship?" Which was big. I mean, yeah, the other ship was quite big because you have the sort of I think you had the kind of the ends were the same. So you kind of had this kind of moulded, I don't know the names, the bow. Starboard bow. That's the front. The bow's the front, isn't it? Yeah. The stern's the back, isn't it? So you had like a moulded front end of the ship and a moulded back end of the ship. And there were segments that fitted sort of between them. So you could, if you wanted to, you sort of clip the two together and that would be fine. And they'd make a little ship and it'd be okay. But then you kind of had a middle segment that would slot in. They'll make it a bit bigger. And you can have two middle sections. And I think the Lego pirate ship had three. It was huge. And you could sort of lift the things up. You could put cannons in. And you could sort of line them all up. And there were different rooms and different things underneath and all that. And yeah, I really wanted one of those because I had kind of good guy ships, but the pirates I was lacking somewhat. And yes, I wrote this letter, and I remember eagerly kind of awaiting it. And then yeah, it arrived on Christmas morning. There it was. Father Christmas had delivered once again, and I was the proud owner of the Lego pirate ship. And I have a kind of a hazy memory. Again, this is going back quite some way. It's going back a long way. But I remember it being scattered along, like around the floor. I did it downstairs. And I remember being very I was so giddy to get it done. It was all disorganised. And I'm not quite sure if Lego was quite as organised back then as it was now. So now if you buy a massive Lego set, it's all in sort of different bags. So you have bag 1, the instructions are like, okay, there you go, bag 1, you must do this from bag 1. You build like a bit. And then the instructions will go, okay, now go to bag 2. You open bag 2 and build it from there. Either they did and I don't remember, or maybe they didn't back then. I seem to recall everything just being all over the place. Maybe I just opened all the bags and just poured everything out and just went, right, I'm going to build the thing. I didn't care what order it was in. But I just remember there being so many things, just massive piles of Lego, and then just sort of trying to find all the bits. And that was a bit of Christmas morning. I'm fairly certain it was. But yeah, I mean, this is going back a very long way. But there we go. So I got that. And then, yeah, we used to play with that. So our garden, back where I grew up, where mum and dad were, they had it was like a big rectangular, so a big long rectangular lawn, and it was really flat, and they generally kept good condition of it, and the grass was normally quite sort of short, and that was our ocean. So when my friends and I played the Lego Pirates, that was our ocean, and then we'd put like the castle sort of fortress thing in the middle. Maybe the pirate island would be sort of over here, and the desert island would be over here, and then we'd have the boats coming in, and we'd all be playing, and that was great. Remember that? They were very happy memories. And I think Dad said that I sold all my Lego pirate stuff. I think I sold it all before. I can't remember. I don't remember it happening at all. I don't recall. But either I sold it or he sold it. But I don't remember. I don't remember at all. But yeah, I got rid of it, which is a bit sad because now I quite like it. I'd quite like it again now. But there you go. Can't do anything about it now. It isn't an 8-room 2-story dollhouse with a cedar roof type thing and wallpaper and crown moulding and a cast iron stove. But I got Castle Grayskull and I got the Lego pirate ship, which is very exciting indeed. So yeah, the one with the lovely red and white stripy sails. I think they still do have Lego pirates now, but I don't know I haven't looked at them much. We haven't got much Lego pirate stuff, if any. I think we might have a Lego pirate. We might have got a pirate, possibly from one of the little sort of minifig bag things you have. So you can kind of get a minifig from a range of minifigs and you sort of tear the bag open. It's a surprise. We might have a pirate or two, but nothing. We haven't got like sort of proper pirate ships or pirate islands or anything like that. I still think there is a range, but maybe there's not quite so many anymore. I don't remember. I had a castle as well. I had like a knight's castle, and it could open up. I had like clippy bits, and you could unclip this bit, and then you could fold that bit out, and then I kind of raised it up at one point. I had a brown Lego. Why did I have a brown Lego? But it was like a sort of it was raised up, and I built like a dungeon type thing where you could chuck people in. That was fun. I miss my old Lego. Now I just have to play with the kids' Lego, which is fine. I like that as well. That's always good. But there you go. Yeah, so yes, I think, as far as I can recall, they were the two things that I really wanted. I mean, maybe there were other things, but I just can't recall. And alas, there's nobody around to ask anymore, which is all very sad. But yeah, so they're the two things that I sort of recall. The Lego Pirate Ship one I recall quite clearly. The sort of He-Man one I sort of hazily remember. But yeah, I do think I'm kind of remembering it through stories told to me about me wanting it rather than me remembering it myself properly. But if that makes sense. But whatever the case, there we go. Hopefully that answered the question okay. I like that question. That was quite good. It was a trip back down memory lane. It was all very fun. So there we go. Nostalgic now. But yeah, hopefully that was okay. And I think with the question done and with my lovely, relaxing nighttime cup of tea now ready to be drunk, I think we can wrap things up. So for now, thank you very much for joining me on day 19 of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2022, and I will see you next time. Let's follow Matt Spence, aka Duke Nukem, as he chases after a dirty villain. There are a lot of angry people still. I don't know why. Never ever employ him, he's terrible. This place is full of rats. Timothy Robles with your kind of crazy eyes. You have tea leaves in it for one of my shops.